Live from the Caterpillar Global Communications Center at Bradley University, this is BUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to BUTV News. I'm Larry Larson.
And I'm Hernán Gutierrez. Let's take a look at the news. Last week, Kelly Rogers flew to Washington, D.C. as a volunteer for the Greater Peoria Honor Flight.
Hi, I'm Kelly Rogers, and I was the videographer for the Greater Peoria Honor Flight. Throughout the day, I captured the veterans' first visit to several memorials in Washington, D.C. The vice president and one of the founders, Phyllis Perino, talked to me about the purpose of the association.
Greater Peoria Honor Flight is a chance for us to honor our veterans by bringing them on a trip to Washington, D.C. at no cost to the veteran. It's our way of saying thank you for their service to our country.
Honor flights like these happen a few times a year in different locations, but for most of these veterans, it was their first time in Washington, D.C.
My favorite part of every honor flight is just seeing the veterans throughout the day and seeing what is special throughout the day for each and every one of them. It's different for all of them.
During the interviews, I asked each veteran what their favorite part of the day was.
Everything. There was no favorite part. It was all just tremendous. It was.
It was good to see some of the people I served with.
I liked everything, really. The Air Force Museum, of course, I was in the Air Force, but it was all good. Everything was good.
There were so many of them, it's very difficult to name any one. The World War II monument, the Atlantic and the Pacific sides of it were very well done.
There was no favorite part. It was all great. Everything.
I think probably seeing my old commanding officer at the Air Force Memorial. His name was on the board, Major General Doyle Larson.
The World War II Memorial. Just that with the surrounding area with the pictures you could get of the highlights of D.C.
From BUTV News, I'm Kelly Rogers.
The Sigma Lambda Gamma National Sorority hosted their first live speaker at the Student Center Ballroom this past Monday, in which they made more students aware of the Latinx community. Here's Anthony Landau with more about the event.
I'm here at the Student Center Ballroom to see guest speaker Kat Lazo in an event hosted by the sorority Sigma Lambda Gamma. Let's check it out. Kat Lazo has made herself known for educating students on all things Latinx. Her series, The Cat Call, allows her to debunk all taboos and misconceptions about the Latinx community. I got to speak to Abigail Fuentes about Lazo.
She's a self-made director, host, and producer. She's really big in media, and she's a really big face in the Latinidad culture.
During her presentation, Lazo talked about privilege and how it's more than just where you come from. She was able to make people feel more confident in expressing their heritage and be proud of who they are.
My hope is to create a space, even if it's within the hour that I'm at a university, that folks can see themselves represented, can see themselves standing their ground, and to also, in a way, like make folks uncomfortable, come to the realization of the ways that maybe we oppress one another within the Latinx community.
Her presentation was also the perfect kickstart to Hispanic Heritage Month.
We recognize different people who have contributed to our culture, and we feel like she's a really good model representation of someone who's doing things positively and who is unapologetic about the issues that are current.
Lazo then ended the show by answering students' questions. If anyone would like to be more involved in the Latinx community, Sigma Lambda Gamma begins their recruitment this weekend. For BUTV News, I'm Anthony Landau.
Last Friday night, the Korean Culture Club hosted their first meeting of the school year at Bradley Hall, welcoming members old and new. The club started last year and since has only grown. Here's Ashley Lesson with more information on the Korean Culture Club.
I'm Ashley Lesson from BUTV News. Tonight I'm here at Bradley Hall to talk to the Korean Culture Club.
Korean Culture Club is a club at Bradley that focuses on mainly the Korean wave. We wanted to just share it with Bradley because initially we had a club called Puzzle Club, and in that club we would always talk about K-pop and our interest in the culture in general. And then we just decided we should probably make a different club for that, and so we did.
We like to bring people on campus who have interest in Korean culture, just so like they have a space where they feel like they're not being judged and where they can express the things that they like about Korean culture. And I really like that about our club because it's really bringing people together who are interested in the same things.
During the club's first meeting, they celebrated a Korean holiday together called Chuseok.
Chuseok is actually very similar to the Day of the Dead in a way. It is a day when families go and remember their loved ones who have passed away. They clean up graves and they have food offerings, as you saw in the video. It can be extravagant or it can be very simple, but they have that. It's just a holiday basically, so it's also a Thanksgiving holiday in that they thank their ancestors for the contributions in the family and all that.
A typical club meeting, we like to make some Korean food, which we did today. And then we usually like to do an activity where we're learning about more about the language, trying to teach the members like Korean phrases that they'll hear in the music videos or in the K-dramas. And then we like to play like a Korean game, something that they have seen on variety shows. And we usually just end the club just like talking with each other and like catching up with each other, talking about like things that are going on in like the Korean world too. So
if you're interested in the club, they meet every other week on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. in Bradley Hall, room 125.
They can contact any of us on exec. We do have our social media. All of them are at Hallyu Club BU. And you can also find us on Presence.
With BUTV News, I'm Ashley Lesson.
Earlier today, the Markin Fitness program Get Fit, Stay Fit offered students to sign their poster on the Olin Quad. Students came by to write down their personal wellness or fitness goals on the Get Fit, Stay Fit poster. Their goals range from getting a new personal best in lifting to simply getting more sleep. The poster will be displayed in the Markin Center to encourage and inspire other students to live well and enjoy fitness. For more info on the Get Fit, Stay Fit program, visit them on Facebook at Bradley Get Fit, Stay Fit.
The new Business and Engineering complex may be the most notable change to the Hilltop this fall, but have you noticed the smaller changes on campus? A red mural was installed outside the bookstore. The mural is the latest winner of the Glaser Endowed Transition and Spirit Award. The award is meant to develop campus traditions and raise student involvement. Additional changes include Bradley B shields on elevators, renovated sidewalks on the Olin Quad, and intentions on a new sign to be placed on the corner of Main and University.
Hernan, what's after the break?
It's gotten a lot cooler this past week. Let's see if Mother Nature will grace us with another week.
Only way to find out is to stay tuned.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on... Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
La 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 la, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood.
To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Yes, I am. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Nicole, the weather's been really beautiful lately, but I've heard that it might rain for 3 straight days. Can you confirm that?
Yes, actually I can. This weekend we're going to see a bit of rain, but there is a chance it's going to be just down to 2 days. Let's take a look at that. So as we see here, we have a bit of a cold front coming in from the west. Since we've been experiencing that nice hot summer weather, that cold front will then cause for a nice rainstorm within the next few days. And it'll definitely hit around the mid-central Illinois area. Right now, it is a toasty low of 80 degrees in the central Illinois area. Great weather to go out and get your study on. As we look further south, we reach the higher 80s. Then as we go up north, we see the temperature dropping slightly to high 70s. Now on to the 5-day forecast. Looks like we're going to finally see some fall weather in time for the first day of autumn on Monday. Thursday and Friday, we will continue with that hot summer weather with the cooler temperatures in the evening, high 60s. But then Saturday and Sunday, we'll see those thunderstorms happening. That's obviously when the cold front will come through. The evenings will stay cool as well. But then on Monday, we'll see a nice sunny autumn first day. Now it's time for your entertainment news with Jonathan Michael.
New SNL cast member Shane Gillis has been fired from the show after a year-old podcast revealed him using racist slurs. The Saturday Night Live crew admitted in a statement that they did not screen Gillis's past work thoroughly enough during the hiring process. Gillis made slurs directed at Asians as well as those of different sexual orientations on a podcast show with his colleague Matt McCusker. The brash comedian has not seemed rattled by the decision. In an anti-apology, he says that his style requires risks, which may explain his edgy humor. SNL seeks to continue looking for new cast members that will add diversity to their lineup. Blanco Brown is making a name for himself in the country music industry. His song, The Get Up, has reigned for 10 weeks on top of Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart. Why is that so special? Brown is the first solo artist to have a #1 song stay on top of the Hot Country Songs chart for double-digit weeks since its inception in 2012. Brown, who is a former producer for artists such as Chris Brown, had no idea his Simply Made song would get so popular. The Get Up is a viral dance challenge on TikTok and perhaps the successor to Lil Nas X's Old Town Road in terms of famous country songs by African-American artists. Many Netflix fans are distraught to see The Office leaving soon, but a new edition aims to ease the pain. Seinfeld, one of the most popular sitcoms in history, will be added to Netflix in 2021. Right after The Office's run ends, while many of us do not remember the show since it ceased its production in 1998, its return could boost its popularity with the younger generation. The show is centered around Jerry Seinfeld and his group of eccentric friends attempting to figure out life in New York City. While the show focuses more on laughs than the plot, it is sure worth the watch for anyone who has not seen it before. It Chapter 2 is now playing in theaters nationwide. The sequel to 2017's critically acclaimed It is currently in its 3rd week of holding the #1 seat at the box office. I went out to see if the movie is worth the hype. It Chapter 2 is 27 years later after the original It. The original group of losers gets back together and tries to defeat scary clown Pennywise, also known as It, once and for all. I think the casting director did a good job. One that really stood out, at least to me, was Bill Hader, and he just provided a lot of comic relief. I was not expecting to laugh, and he just said something really funny, and it really took me by surprise because obviously it is a horror movie. Also, I know one thing that some people were saying about the movie is that it wasn't as interesting because like all of the kids were adults now, and obviously if there's kids in the movie and it's about horror, there's going to be a little bit more of an appeal to that. It definitely felt long, but I don't really think it felt like 3 hours. It maybe felt like maybe like an hour 45 to 2 hours or so. But other than that, though, I wouldn't say there's any glaring negatives. I think no matter what, you should go see it. You'll be very surprised by it. It's not something you really expect out of a horror movie. It brings out a lot of emotions. You'll definitely have a lot of fun seeing this one, and it'll keep you on the edge of your seat.
Jonathan, I know a lot of people are excited about that Seinfeld news. Any Seinfeld fans here? Anybody?
It's not really my style.
I might be after a couple years, so.
I think I'm going to give it a watch. Excited for Family Weekend? Bradley students share their love for their families after the break.
And we take an inside look at last weekend's Morton Pumpkin Festival.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
It's time to hear what Bradley students are most excited about for this year's Family Weekend on this week's edition of Campus Convos.
Hi, my name is Imani Shamsuddin, and on this week's episode of Campus Convos, we'll be going around asking students what they're most excited for Family Weekend. Let's check out what they have to say. Who do you miss more from home, mom or dad?
I think they might get mad if I answered that question, but both.
To be honest, I miss my mom because she do my laundry all the time.
I think definitely my mom.
I'm more of my dad, definitely my dad.
Am I allowed to say my dog? Whose cooking do you miss more, and what is the dish?
I'd say my mom's. My dad can make some good grilled cheese, but
100% my mom. My mom's Italian, so she knows how to cook.
Well, my dad cooks a lot, so I probably miss his mashed potatoes the most.
Oh, my mom's for sure. My dad can't cook.
It's one item from home that you miss that you wish was here.
Is either a solid kitchen sink or an oven, because I miss baking. There's no open baking here.
My kitchen. Sure. My bed. Comfortable bed.
It'd be my 2 dogs. I miss my dogs the most.
Our ping pong table. I love playing ping pong.
And lastly, how excited are you to see your family this upcoming weekend?
kind of excited. I mean, I miss him a little bit, but not too much.
I am very excited. I can't wait.
I'm really excited. I'm excited to show them around and just show them how awesome Bradley is.
Looks like the moms are definitely winning in this poll. Reporting for BUTV News, my name's Imani Shamsuddin.
The city of Morton held their annual Pumpkin Festival this past week. With over 2,000 volunteers, the festival celebrated the start of pumpkin harvest for Libby's pumpkin plant. It featured everything from carnival rides to glazed donuts.
It's the pumpkin capital of the world, according to former Illinois Governor James Thompson. And with 2019 marking the 53rd anniversary, this year's Morton Pumpkin Festival created a cheerful atmosphere where over 70,000 visitors could welcome in the autumn season.
I think it helps the community by bringing people from all over the Peoria area, from Bradley University, from all the small towns, coming to Morton just to enjoy the festival with each other.
On Saturday, visitors arrived early for the 6 a.m. pumpkin pancake breakfast, then later attended the pumpkin pie eating contest on the main stage. Tazewell County Resource Center was one of over 30 vendors who helped cater the festival with their delicious glazed pumpkin donuts.
So every year TCRC has partnered with the Morton Chamber of Commerce. We come in on Saturdays and we sell the donuts throughout the day during the parade and then through the craft fair and so forth.
Other highlights from this past week included the Pumpkin Festival Parade, princess pageants, and 10K runs. Yet it seems the younger crowds mainly came for the food. And what's been your favorite dessert at the festival?
Pumpkin donuts, pumpkin ice cream. Definitely pumpkin ice cream.
However, none of this entertainment would be possible without the Morton Chamber of Commerce or local authorities making sure everything happened in a safe environment.
Fire department's role here is to simply stand by in case of emergencies, so we're ready. I'm glad the weather was nice this year. We didn't have any rainouts. It got a little warm, but other than that, it brought a lot of people to town.
Reporting for BUTV News, I'm Deanna Cantu.
Join us after the break to hear how our Bradley Braves are doing in sports.
BUTV's Cody Raskins has more after the break.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
I'll be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Cody, I saw women's basketball came out with their conference and non-conference schedule, and there's some pretty big names on there.
Yeah, specifically when you're talking about the non-conference schedule, we're getting a shot at big-time schools like Michigan, the Wolverines. We will get a shot at them with women's basketball, and that's going to be a very prime-time contest for us.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good game.
It will be. So coming off their first 20-win season in over a decade, the highly anticipated Bradley women's basketball non-conference schedule was released earlier this year.
Notable opponents include the Michigan Wolverines, Miami of Ohio Redhawks, North Dakota State Bison, and Liberty Flames. The first game of the season will be at home versus Illinois Springfield on November 3rd. The Bradley Braves men's soccer team faced off against the Eastern Illinois Panthers last Friday. Bradley held the Panthers scoreless for the entirety of the first half while also having a double-digit lead in the shots on goal category. But ultimately, the zeros on the scoreboard wouldn't last forever, as Eastern Illinois was able to put one in the last moments of the contest. This loss dropped Bradley to 1 win, 1 loss, and 2 ties on the season. Next up to cross country, the Bradley Braves cross country teams have started the year off on a high note at the Western Illinois Early Bird Meet. The Bradley men's team finished with a very impressive perfect team score of 15, finishing with the top 5 runners in the boys' meet. Meanwhile, the women's cross-country team also placed well at the meets, finishing second overall right behind Northern Illinois. The cross-country team's next action will come on September 20th at Detweiler Park.
So guys, going back to soccer, Hernan, I know you're a soccer guy. The Braves have just gotten unlucky.
Yeah, no, it was that goal that the Eastern Illinois had was just off of a really lucky corner kick, and it was pretty upsetting, actually.
And I mean, there's nothing else you can say about it. I mean, the Braves, they'll be all right. Just got to figure it out.
There's plenty to do on the Hilltop this weekend.
Find out exactly what after the break.
For too long, there's been too much silence. We've stepped back when we should have stepped up.
We lack the bravery to have the tough conversations.
It stops now.
It stopped with us.
As campus leaders, we recognize that sexual assault is a real problem.
And it's time to take action.
We're standing together as a community because this issue affects all of us.
And we can only end it if we are braver together.
Starting now, we don't look the other way. We make it a move and do something.
Before it's too late.
We promote a culture of respect for all students.
We say something even when it's easier to remain silent.
We stand up for survivors.
We never blame them.
We hold our friends, our leaders, our teammates,
and ourselves accountable for our actions.
And when we see something wrong, we're brave enough to interrupt. We say something.
We do something. We watch out for each other.
Always.
Being a Bradley Brave means
ending the silence.
Together, we can work to end sexual assault and rape culture in our community. Together, we can do the right thing.
Together, we can do the brave thing.
Make your move and stand with us.
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 And we can all be braver together.
Let's take a look at fun things on campus this week. All Bradley students and alumni are welcome to his fall job internship fair. Those who are seeking full-time positions. A variety of employers will be there, meeting for. There is something for all majors. Additionally, professional photographer will be there for free headshots. Join the Bradley Symphonic Band, Symphonic Winds, and Jazz Ensemble this Friday, September 25th at 4 p.m. on the Alumni Quad. Admission is free for everyone. ACBU will be holding a circus presentation this Friday. Nathan Kepner and Morgan Tisran are a husband and wife circus performance duo, blending magic and acrobatics, touring the world, winning 6 international titles, appearing on The Tonight Show, and now performing at Bradley. Watch the show this Friday in the Student Center Ballroom at 7. Well, that's it for BUTV News this weekend. I'm Hernan Gutierrez.
I'm Cody Roskins.
I'm Jonathan Michael.
I'm Nicole Pfaff.
And I'm Larry Larson. We leave you tonight with a performance from the Gigantic Cantaloupes. Have a great night.
Life's too short to even care at all. I'm losing my mind, losing my mind, losing control. These fishes in the sea, they're staring at me. A white world aches for the splash and the drum. If I could find a way to see this straight, I'd run away to some fortune that I should have found by now. I'm waiting for this cough syrup to come down. Life's too short to even care at all. I'm coming up now out of the blue. The zombies in the park, they're looking for my heart. A rock world aches for the splash of the sun.